So I got another song to go with the theme of this episode. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark. Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark. Daddy shark, do 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 do. Daddy shark, do 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 do. Daddy shark, do 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 do. Daddy shark.
Grandma
special
Shark.
All right, Jaws Ripoff movies on this episode of Attack of the Killer podcast.
Attention, planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer podcast. 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 That's time for the show. Yay.
What?
Hello, mateys, and welcome to another episode of Attack of the Killer podcast. This is episode... what episode is this again?
348.
248.
348.
Whatever. We are talking about Jaws Ripoff movies on this episode. Now, if this is your first time listening to the show, Attack of the Killer podcast is a horror movie podcast where a group of friends get together with a topic and discuss films within that topic. We're all just friends hanging out talking horror movies, so there may be spoilers. You've been warned. And now, if you love the show, we would love it if you would help support us and become part of the Attack of the Killer podcast family. If you do, you just go to jointheattackers.com and you can pick the tier you want to show your support and become an attacker. As an attacker, you get all kinds of cool content, such as our bonus episodes. Our next bonus episode, we're going to be talking about worst horror movie sequels. Now, the only way you can hear us talk about that is by becoming an attacker. Now, there's so much other great stuff, too, that you can get as well. We have our 3 YouTube shows that we make exclusively for the attackers. You can also pick movies for our watch parties and our Patreon pick episodes. You can be part of our exclusive chat called Attack of the Killer Chat, and so much more, including, but not limited to, shout-outs on the show like these attackers right here.
Timothy Leonard, Roman Doppelfeld, Larry Watanabe, Brett J. Royer, Jessica Irish, Chris Cook, Brian Godsell, Stefan Sitter, Brandy Moore, Andrew Mahler, Rodney Dean Hutchinson Jr., Carmen DeHague, Abraham Ariano, Andrew Bentler, Casey Kelderman, Tony Miller, Mike Clayton, Rose Talashoma, Abe Kirshner, Lisa Cavalier, Holly Berg, Bill Fisher, Greg Dedrick, Sam Lenz, Garth Jacobson, Brett White, Tiffany Dewey, Scott Reebsman, Chris Collins, and Jacob McLaughlin.
Woo! You too can be on that list, and all you have to do is go to jointheattackers.com, pick the tier to get the content you want. Again, that's jointheattackers.com. Join today.
Did the Godsey guy not donate this month?
Godsell? Yeah, he was on there.
Oh, okay. Oh, you pronounced it correctly. That's why
I did,
didn't
yeah.
notice. Okay.
And now it's time to introduce you to the podcast crew. He knows so many facts about sharks. For example, did you know that geese kill more humans than sharks each year? It's because it's really hard for geese to kill a shark. Brian.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
He feels bad because he dropped his keys into the ocean and a shark ate them. Now that shark has lockjaw. Jason.
Oh my goodness. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here.
He's worried about sharks becoming extinct. He thinks that they will all die from high blood pressure because they're living in salt water. Tad.
I'm going to die from high blood pressure listening to your jokes. Thanks for listening.
And last but not least, our very special guest. He's from the Cinema Shitshow podcast, right here on the PFPN. The one, the only, and our chum, Nix Eclipse.
Oi, we gotta I can't do the Vic Morrow accent. I'm sorry.
Oh, you tried. It was-
That's okay. Vic Morrow can't do it either.
that's-
This is true. All right. Now I'm going to turn it over to Tad to find out what we've been watching besides the films for this episode. Here's what we watched.
I hope you have your letterbox open. I'm going straight to it. I'm ripping off the Band-Aid. Brian, what the fuck have you watched?
Well, my box from the Severin Labor Day sale came in, so I cracked into that. And I thought maybe seeing Devilfish uncut in high definition would make it better than it looked in the Mystery Science Theater episode, and I was wrong. We caught a couple movies.
Sharktopus.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the interviews on the disc are worth having. We caught a couple of movies in the theater. Nobody 2. That's a fun action flick, directed by the guy who did The Shadow Strays and The Night Comes for Us. So I was expecting it to be a little more violent and over the top, I guess. And I feel like they kind of wasted Sharon Stone as the villain. Like, she's barely in it, and we could have done more with her. But anyway, it was still a good time. And I could not believe our theater got Toxic Avenger. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the original. I understand people's love for it who saw it at a formative age, but trauma stuff generally doesn't do it for me, with a few exceptions. And mostly because I feel like they try a little too hard, which makes it sound weird that I'm going to say I wish the new one had gone a little harder on the grossness, but especially on the satire aspect, since it seemed like they were had a little more of an aim and a message with this one, going after healthcare. But especially it was cool because they gave a lot of the proceeds from ticket sales to help pay off medical debt for people in need. So that was really neat, and worth going out and buying a ticket for that alone. But
Yes.
overall, I thought this was very much an improvement on the original. I thought the performances were great. Even though it wasn't quite as tasteless as I wanted it to be, it was very, very funny. Like, all the comedy hit. There were like many parts where I was laughing out loud, and so was Terry. And there were only 2 other people in the theater, and they came in shortly before the movie started. And it was a dad and a young kid. Now, not like a 4 or 5 year old or whatever. I'd say he was somewhere between like 11 and 13. So, but still younger than most parents would let their kids watch a movie like that. So I leaned over to Terry during the previews and said, it was like, either that guy's a really cool dad or he has no fucking idea what they just walked into. And they were both yucking it up just as much as we were during the movie.
Oh,
So
that's
clearly
good.
cool dad and knew what was going on, and the kid had a good time. And yeah, so that was very, very fun. Looking through the bounty of Hong Kong movies I found on Daily Motion a few weeks ago, I randomly picked, because of the title, a movie called Pantyhose Hero. Now, considering a lot of the Hong Kong movies I've been talking about on here lately, you might imagine what I was expecting this to be. And it turned out it was a Sammo Hung buddy cop comedy. But it was, well, I was a little like off-put. It's like, oh, this isn't the gross thing I was wanting it to be. It was a lot of fun. There's some great fight scenes. It was genuinely very funny through most of it. And the plot is he and his partner have to go undercover to catch a gay serial killer. And that being said, for a movie from Hong Kong from 1993, there are far fewer AIDS jokes than you would think. Jason Statham heist movie directed by Guy Ritchie called Wrath of Man. That popped up streaming recently. That was really good. Mike, you'll appreciate this one. I saw it come up on Midnight Pulp a while ago and kind of had it in the back of my mind and finally threw it on the other day. Two Evil Eyes.
Oh, you'd never seen it before? Or?
No, I know. I know.
Nice.
It's not that I never knew what it was. I'd heard
sure.
of it, but I just, like one of those that slipped through the cracks. And I know it's generally kind of thought of as not good. Like, I hear a lot of people bag on it.
Well, they're
And
all
other than the ending of the Black Cat segment being fucking hilarious, and I couldn't tell whether that was on purpose or not.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Especially the end of the Romero segment, Facts in the Case of Mr. Valdemar, where they have that effect of every time the lightning flashes, those ghosts
You could see the
show up. And they're just like people in white bodysuits. There's nothing particularly interesting about the way they look, but the way they achieve that effect of when the lightning flashes, you see them. Like, I'm sure it was a very simple in-camera trick, but man, it looked good.
It looked really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I really dig that movie. I could see picking that one up on disc at some point, so I'd like to watch it again. Justin hooked me up with a fucking insane movie called Crocodile Fury that he talked about on the Get Me Another podcast a couple episodes back. This was originally let's see if I can get this right. Originally it was a Thai movie called Cry Thong 2, made by Sampote Sands, the guy who claimed to have directed Crocodile that was shown on Joe Bob Briggs a couple episodes back. But it was chopped up by legendary Hong Kong hackmeister Godfrey Ho and turned into a completely different movie with an insane dub. But it was cool watching this weird ass movie and being to pick out the dub actors, like, oh, that guy's from Godzilla versus Biollante, and that guy does, like, because all these Hong Kong movies are dubbed by a group of English speakers in Hong Kong who did a lot of Toho's international dubs too, so it's fun to you find some bizarre, obscure movie like this, and you're hearing the same voices that you grew up with in Godzilla movies. That's kind of neat. But the real star of the last couple of weeks was Hell Has No Boundary. It was brought to my attention by the Unsung Horrors podcast. I'd never heard of this one before. It was a Shaw Brothers horror movie. And the only way I could find to watch it with English subtitles, other than buying like a bootleg DVD off eBay, was, I can't even remember the name of the site, but it's basically Russian YouTube. So, the real depths of the internet, but man, was it worth it. I don't want to spoil it because I want to try to cram this into an episode for us sometime. I will just say it's one of the most bonkers fucking things I've ever seen. No,
I like that after you announced the name of the title, you waited a second as if someone's going to say, oh yeah, it's one of my favorites. I watched it last week too. Like, you paused for a reaction as if anyone else in the world has heard of this.
It's fun. I didn't even realize I did that. That wasn't intentional. But
I was assuming you were waiting for a reaction too, and when you said it was on Unsung Horrors, I thought maybe that's why, because I know know there's a few of us that do listen to that show. I think I'm just kind of behind on their episodes.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you watch? Come on.
I mean, there's other stuff, but...
Yeah. We'll hand it to our guest, Nix. What have you watched recently?
Well, guys, I got to tell you, for about a year there, I wasn't able to watch movies at all, so I've been doing a lot of catching up. So my list would be like 20 long, but I'm just going to talk about the last two that I watched back to back. First, I watched a movie called Borderline. I think it was actually supposed to come out in 24, but it came out in 25, and it stars Ray Nicholson and Samara Weaving. I didn't know that was Jack Nicholson's son until the end when I watched the credits, and it was like, oh, now that makes a lot more sense. That movie was funny as fuck, but the very last scene, I don't want to give anything away, but the very last scene of just him, no dialogue, anything, and him just acting in front of the camera really changed the whole rest of the film for me. And I went back and I watched it a second time the next day, which I don't normally do. It's a fun movie, and I would really highly recommend it. And then I watched Together with Dave Franco. I know you guys had talked about this previously. I wasn't a big fan of it either. It was pretty good building up, but I didn't like where it went.
Yeah, the pivot into openly this is a comedy now kind of threw me off. Did you have that same feeling?
I mean, I was picking up on a lot of the comedy at the beginning, just with their delivery and the way that they talk to each other. I was kind of with that. I just didn't like where the story went myself.
Yeah. Yeah, the end was a little meh.
Yeah. And by the way, how did they? Was that like a total CGI like combination of their two facial features?
Oh, it
At
had
the
to have
end.
been. Yeah.
Oh, it just looked so bad. Anyway, I would highly suggest checking out Borderline. It's got a great soundtrack. It's great acting. I know some people don't like Samara Weaving,
Those people are stupid.
Those
Yeah.
guys, yeah, wrong.
but Ray Nicholson is fucking great in this film, man. And I really look forward to whatever else he's going to do. So, Borderline, everybody, check it out.
All right, Mike, what have you watched?
Well, I got to go to the theater and I finally saw Weapons.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Man, I
man.
don't think I've ever had a film that was hyped up so much beforehand and still delivered when I went and saw it.
Nice.
I freaking loved it. I always get a kick out of irregular storytelling, especially when you are presented a story from one character perspective and then you see parts of that same story from another character's perspective, but then you get whole new information from that. So the structure of this film, I was all into. I loved it. And then
Pulp
that
Fiction style.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Or
kind of
Go.
jumping all over the timeline and everything, and but then all of it coming together, and I just thought it was brilliantly done, and was so invested in the whole story and everything, and then just that amazing payoff at the end. I was cackling out loud. It was so awesome.
Yeah, oh my god, yes, I was laughing so hard.
It was amazing. Next up, I watched Locked, which I think is also from this year, right? Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And have you guys all seen this yet?
think
I
you
don't
said
remember.
I
that
have
last
not.
I did.
episode.
I have, yeah.
Okay. I dug it. It's definitely, you would think it's a movie that's definitely up my alley because it is so minimalistic. It is a very simple plot with only two actors, and one of them is on the telephone, and in a very minimal location, which is the inside of a locked car. And I feel like I've always said, when you give me minimalistic stuff like that, and you can keep me entertained for a feature-length film, then I'm gonna love it. This one lost me a little bit before we got into the third act. It kind of started to be like, okay, we can, start moving along. And then it also kind of lost me a little bit at the end. But once, like, the car is moving, without giving too much away, it got really intense again, and I really dug those scenes. It's got one of the most brutal getting hit by a car scenes, I think, of all time. Just going to say that. So I recommend it. It as far as my subgenre of minimalistic films, it's not going to be anywhere towards the top. But I think I gave it 3.5 on Letterboxd.
So, this kind of reminded me, and this may be totally off topic, but did you ever see the Stuart Gordon flick Stuck?
Oh no, I have not
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Stuck.
That's a good one.
The person stuck in the windshield.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
That was
based on
originally a stage play, wasn't it? And then he turned
Well,
it into a movie.
it was based on a true story. I don't know if he actually.
Well, right,
ever
but
did it
because
on
he
stage.
got his start in theater directing, so I was thinking he did that as a play and then wound up getting it turned into a movie. But
Well,
yeah, that's a
no,
good
his
flick.
his stage stuff was mostly before Reanimator and stuff like that. So I
Right.
don't know that he was still doing that when Stuck came out, like in his later career when he didn't really have a lot of funding and.
Yeah, that was
was
right around the same
struggling.
time as King of the Ants, I think,
King of the
wasn't it?
Ants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a great movie too.
I
There
still
were no
haven't seen
ants
Stuck,
in it.
And then the last thing I saw, in tribute to this episode, I did also make it to the theater a second time in 1 week. Weird. I went and saw the Jaws 50th anniversary on the big screen.
Oh, jealous. I missed
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it'd been even better if I could see it in its remastered glory, but doesn't matter. Went with my 17-year-old and Brandy, sat in between them, and just the energy. It was all worth it. I had to pee really bad at one point, but it's like I am not getting up to pee until we get to the.
So you pissed in your seat because it's Jaws and you felt like you're in the water.
Yeah, true. I'm not getting up until we get to the Ben Traver scene with the head popping out of the hole, because I cannot wait for the reaction, because Brandy doesn't like jump scares. It gets her every time, and my kid had never seen the movie before, which made it even better seeing it on the big screen, because that should be everybody's experience with Jaws for the first times on a theater screen. But
You got Halloween on the brain from the bonus episode. That's Ben Gardner in Jaws.
oh, I'm sorry, Ben Gardner. Yeah, you're right. My bad. But when that head pops out, they just both hit the ceiling. It was so great. Just the absorbent of energy from either side of me was. I was laughing. It was great. Anyway, Jaws is awesome. That's what I watched.
Well,
All right.
I think Spielberg actually put together a 3D version of that they played in theaters a few times for anniversaries and whatnot, but they've never released it on disc, which is really disappointing. I'm a huge 3D freak, so pardon me.
Yeah, they did like a 4D for this release too in some theaters with like the shaking seats and
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
yeah. It'd be fun to like. It'd be cool if like the boat was rocking. Your seats are like going back and forth. That'd be cool.
The boat
Okay,
is rocking,
Jason.
Jaws comes a knocking.
Yeah, Jason, what have you watched?
I was able to get down to Burlington and see Fright Night on the big screen last weekend. So did Mike.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
we're
I
talking
was
the
there too.
original, right?
The original
course.
Fright Night.
Sweet,
The
okay.
only one.
Yep, we were just kind of doing a little promo screening of that because we got the 3 kids from the movie coming to Halloween-a-Palooza this year, October 10th and 11th, halloweenapalooza.com. Yep, so that was fun and just good seeing everybody. And then last night we had a watch party and saw Behind the Mask.
You keep reminding me of things to add to my letterbox. That
Yeah, don't forget,
I'm
guys.
very bad.
Yeah, so the only things I've watched in the last 2 weeks are events that we did. So that's
But you're in good company.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I watched.
Excellent.
And a lot of football. Football's here, so
Yeah.
So he's not going to watch much of
it's
anything
going
else.
to be less and less.
I'd
Probably.
say I'm currently watching football, so
I know you are.
someone asked
As
me.
we record,
Tad.
wow, what a professional podcaster.
Of course.
Tadster.
I'm always multitasking. I watched all the things you mentioned, like Behind the Mask and Fright Night, and I watched Joe Bob, who showed The Church, and This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse.
Fuck yeah.
That was fun.
God, how did I forget that? I didn't put that on my letterbox. That was the first time I'd seen that particular Coffin Joe flick.
Which shocked me. Like, I just assume you've watched every Coffin Joe movie a dozen times and knew everything
No,
about
I'd
all
actually
of them.
only ever seen 2 of them before.
So
I
you,
think I'm the bigger Coffin Joe guy.
What'd you think of Suave's The Church?
that was fun too. It was it's an interesting double feature because when you just had Coffin Joe on the marquee behind him, I assumed we were in for a Coffin Joe double feature, and had no idea. And funny enough, I mentioned this in our Attacker chat, which you can become a member of if you go to jointheattackers.com. That the previous week, I think Jason was there too. We went to Film Scene to see a movie we mentioned in the last episode, and they played the trailer for The Church before the movie because it's part of their 12-hour horror marathon they do every Halloween weekend.
That would be awesome. Had you
And-
not seen The Church before?
No, I don't think so.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's a
So,
fun one.
like I said, interesting double feature, and I love. Some people are indifferent to it. I love first time watches with Joe Bob because I feel like something I might not appreciate and see again. I would appreciate more with him, just getting some insight. So, and I mean, he could make the worst movie great. That doesn't mean that either of these are bad. I just loved his insight and take on Coffin Joe. Hilarious. But I also saw The Toxic Avenger. I had about the same feelings as Brian. I think marketing wise, as someone who works in marketing, I completely get that they pushed like Toxic Avenger unrated, a movie no one wanted to see. Legendary even like did a hot take. I think they put it out that, you know, theaters were dropping the movie over the scene where he pisses on his own face, because you get to see a big toxicock. It's in true trauma fashion, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but in the end, Macon Blair said, like, this is the R-rated cut that I delivered to Legendary 3 years ago. This is not, and it's just
Right.
unrated because we didn't go through the MPAA, and it was a marketing stunt. But in true trauma fashion, it worked. Funny thing is, like, they did a great like promotional partnership with Liquid Death, so they had this commercial airing where. Did you see it, Brian?
No, I can imagine. So
It's so funny.
I saw that commercial. It's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like these two groups of like high school jocks and like cheerleaders standing in a hallway, but they're obviously like in their 30s. It's very parody, and they're like, you know, one of the jocks about to drink soda, and Toxic Avenger kicks in the door, and the girls are all like, "Toxic Avenger, swoon," you know, and he's like, "Don't drink that soda. It's full of sugar," and you know, he's like, "It's known to cause diabetes when you can lose your limbs," and the guy's like, "What?" And he rips off his arm, and it's pretty good. But it's like, don't drink all that sugar. Drink. But anyways, I played that before our showing of it, and it got a lot of laughs.
They're
But
doing
the
a lot
movie,
of promotional stuff with that. Like Peter Dinklage, they relaunched Movie Phone with him
yeah.
as Toxie doing bits.
And what I appreciate about this movie and about this is also part of my what we watched. I finished the new season of Dexter. I guess Dexter Resurrection. Both great use of Peter Dinklage, and neither of them ever really mentioned the fact that he's a little person, which is just like cool that he just exists. You know, like he's just a fucking great actor, and he's a good choice. I know it was controversial when it was announced. People were upset, like, why did we make Toxie small? Whatever. Like, it was fun, and it didn't really even get addressed in the movie. He just was, and I have mixed feelings about the weird like ICP weird band in the movie.
Oh, I thought that was hilarious. Like they
I love the
managed
guy
to create a version of Twisted that's worse than actual Twisted.
Yeah, I love the dude that's always flipping for no reason. That's hilarious.
Wait a minute.
That one part where he goes, "Could I do parkour?" They're like, "No."
Yeah, Elijah Wood is great in it, and there's a point where he's like, you know, no parkour. Yeah, it has a lot of like, and the baby head thing was hilarious. I won't spoil what that means, but when you get to it, you'll laugh your ass off. But I had a hell of a lot of fun with that. I also watched.
I'm
What's up?
confused about the Twisted reference here.
Did you?
Brian, do you want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to clarify? You know,
Twisted
who
is like a
Twisted
shitty ICP knockoff band, and the band in the Toxic Avenger movie is just like them, but even shittier.
Well, you should actually listen to some of their music.
got a
They're
Twisted
actually.
fan,
I'm a fucking juggalo, but yeah.
All right, well, I'll lay off the Twisted then.
Twisted has some like really fucking deep shit that they talk about. It's actually really cool. They're much smarter than ICP because they know how magnets work.
I almost fucking said that. Oh my god.
I was wondering. But yeah, it's fun. I highly recommend checking out Toxic Avenger. I also saw Together. I liked it up till towards the end. I didn't think it stuck the landing very well, but I did like the body horror of it. I thought the chemistry between obviously a real married couple is hard to beat. It was more of a drama, and then it sort of morphed into a body horror. It had some tense moments, and then, like you said, it sort of turns more into a comedy, and the last like third of it, But one that Mike will be proud of, I watched Five Nights at Freddy's. I know.
Oh, sweet.
He mentioned on here it's going to be a House at Horror Night, so I thought I should probably at least watch it and know what I'm getting into. And it definitely was not made for me. I was definitely not the target audience. I did not growing up. I knew nothing about these movies other than the animatronics going in, and I had fun with it.
Oh, okay, good.
I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It is what it is, and I think it will translate very well into a haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, for sure.
It'll be
that franchise is made for stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last thing I watched is Unknown Number: The High School Catfish. Nikki started watching this Netflix documentary, and I sat down on the couch, and I was like, well, I'm going to go downstairs and watch a podcast movie, and then an hour and a half later, I watched this entire thing. I'm sure you guys have seen all the memes on the internet. If you guys haven't watched it already, has anyone else seen this?
Nope.
No, but Terry watched it and told me about it when we were driving last weekend, and yeah, it sounded wild.
Yeah, so basically, I won't spoil anything, but the premise is this high school couple start getting text messages from an unknown number, and they start sort of innocently, and then they get deeper and weirder and darker and meaner, and eventually this person's telling this girl she's skinny bitch and no one wants her, and she's anorexic and that she should kill herself, and they're trying to track down who this person is, and this person's getting closer and closer to the point where they send a picture of the boyfriend sitting on the couch on Christmas, so it's like someone in the house is doing this and they cannot figure out who it is, and they get the FBI involved, and it's fucked. But yeah, it's maddening and depressing, but sort of a true crime documentary, but no one is murdered. It's just a lot of emotional abuse.
People fucking suck, man.
Yeah, it was a tough watch, and you feel for these people, and it makes you question what the fuck's wrong with everybody. But that's what I watch.
All right, thank you, Tad. Okay, so Jaws ripoff movies. Let's get into it. Jason, what is the first one we're going to watch?
Our first movie this evening is from 1981. Goes by several names, but we're going to call it The Last Shark.
Oh, little Caroline, I'm feeling so lonely. I see you as the sun is going down.
Port Harbor is a quiet summer resort with its pleasure boat enthusiasts, skin divers, and windsurfers. It may be one of the most peaceful places on Earth. But in the world of blackness, beneath these waves, there are no days, no nights, no seasons, only endless existence. And a being whose only thought since the beginning of time is his ravenous desire to feed.
Get on shore! Everyone out of the water!
Port Harbor has been invaded by the ultimate predator.
Coming right at us!
A beast against which there is no defense. Nature's perfect killing machine. The great white shark. Great White. The terror begins March 5th.
Imagine if Jaws was remade by an Italian film crew with half the budget, zero subtlety, an obsession with windsurfing. That's The Last Shark, also known as Great White, depending on how many lawsuits Universal was threatening at the time. The plot is basically Jaws with the serial numbers filed off. A coastal town wants to host a big festival, but there's a giant shark eating people, and the greedy mayor doesn't want to cancel the party. Sound familiar? But instead of Roy Schreider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw, we get a sweaty author, a Quint knockoff who chews scenery harder than the shark chews boats, and a bunch of locals who all seem to own sailboats. The shark itself looks like it was built out of paper mache and rage, but somehow it still manages to pull off some hilariously over-the-top kills. It's a movie so shameless that Universal literally sued it to get pulled from theaters, which is probably the most exciting thing about it. Still, if you ever thought, what if Jaws was way dumber, much louder, and had more windsurfing montages than any human being asked for, then congratulations. The Last Shark is a dream come true. This actually, I picked this one. I like this movie. Because it is Jaws.
Is it because there's a riff tracks? Just be honest.
I didn't watch. I have seen the riff tracks and love it. I watched it without this time, but Yeah, it is an Italian version of Jaws. It's funny and great.
As
I
far
love
as
that they
Jaws
have their own
ripoff,
Quint.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, it has everything.
Squint.
But it's the most film that the film that most fits the theme, I thought.
yeah. I should have saved it for the third one because this one is the picture of this isn't in the dictionary under the definition of Jaws ripoff movies. This is the ultimate of the Jaws ripoff movies. I mean, so much so that the author character name is Peter Benton,
Right?
as Jaws was written by Peter Bentley, also an
Wow.
Benchley.
What?
weird.
Benchley.
That was so
Benchley.
subtle. I never caught that.
I know.
This
I always get this one confused with Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 4, because
No,
They
that's
used a
Jaws
lot-
5.
Jaws 5. Sorry, my bad. Because they use a lot of the footage from this in that movie too.
Except that one has a guy who looks just like Hulk Hogan.
I'm gonna give you a suplex, Hulk Hogan.
Jason, you did forget to mention that the shark does have a superpower of being able to change his size and shape, whether he's underwater or popping his head out of the water.
Yeah, because the one that brings its head up out of the water is only slightly smaller than the shark from our last movie tonight.
And the one you see underwater, which is obviously shark stock footage, is like skinnier, much smaller, different color too.
I
Yeah,
mean,
look.
to be fair, that's also true of actual Jaws. The footage
Yeah,
of
but-
the Australian great white is clearly much, much smaller than the animatronic Bruce the Shark. But
Yeah, but it's way more obvious than this guy.
I have to give him props though for for the prop. And that's something I really love about Italian monster movies is it's kind of a go big or go home. Like you get something that's going to rip off Jaws, and okay, some of the Italian like Cruel Jaws, for example, is mostly just stolen footage from this one, but it's not. That's still way better than Deep Blood, which I don't understand how Joe D'Amato made the boringest or most boring, least sleazy shark movie in all of Italy. But anyway, but that shark prop is fucking huge. And does
Yeah.
it look realistic or great? Well, no, but it had to have been difficult to not just build, but to use in the water. I
yeah.
mean, you
Popping
get
out of the
more
water.
shots of this thing doing stuff than you do of Bruce and Jaws, which,
Yep.
infamously was because it didn't work. Well, this one didn't work very well either, but they're like, fuck it, let's show it
Yeah, the
anyway.
Italians
You know what
just
I mean?
don't care.
Yeah.
We've made this thing. We're going to show it.
Well, and they have like the small animatronic shark like underwater shots too, which is
Oh, yeah, when they try to blow it up in the cave.
yeah, it's just so obvious.
That it seals because oh man.
Yeah, this one's one of my favorites of the Jaws ripoff.
Well,
Italian ones too.
I love that every time the Jaws ripoff attacks, like it explodes the water.
Yeah.
beneath it.
Yes.
Very
there's-
dramatic.
There's the one guy standing in the boat, and it like shoots the boat up into the air, and the fucking mannequin doesn't move. It's
Yep.
great.
Yeah,
It's
so
fucking great.
Do I
One of
hear
my
a cat?
Yeah, Brian's
Yeah, you
cat's
do.
here. We know what's happening.
She's right next to me. I was petting her.
It's pooping time. One of my favorite underwater monster movie tropes is when the guy is getting pulled out of the water to safety, only to reveal that it's too late because they've already been bitten in half.
Yeah.
And this has got it. It's got one of the best ones. Love it. Love it.
Best. You said best.
Oh man, this movie has some like great gore effects for the aftermath of being bitten by the shark that you don't see in a lot of the ripoffs because they don't really spend the money on it. But the Italians were like, No. We gotta have the spaghetti.
That's right. Oh, the best gore effect is the mayor hanging from the helicopter and he gets his legs chopped off.
Oh yeah,
Freaking cool. Freaking cool.
Well, and it's like you were talking about that a lot of them don't go for the gore, and that's weird because the gore is usually the cheapest effect. Like it's way cheap. You know, you can go buy real animal parts from a butcher shop for next to nothing, but it costs a lot of money to build a prop shark.
Yeah. Yeah. I also do appreciate that there is a lot of unchewed human sticking out of the mouth of the shark throughout the movie.
But there is no unchewed scenery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Once Vic Morrow shows up.
Right.
Lord.
What is with his accent? I know that's one of the things that gets harped on anytime anyone talks about this movie, but I mean, he was a very well-respected actor, and like it's such an odd choice.
This is
And you
Scottish.
have to wonder, like, did they tell him to try to sound like Quint, or was that his choice and he just couldn't pull it off? Did they shoot part of the movie without and then shoot, or maybe they shot part of the movie with and then they're like, this isn't working for the rest of the shoot, don't do that. But because they were shooting out a sequence, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Why? I've always wondered why that is in this movie in particular, because it's so pronounced.
It was like, obviously this is the one that, they got sued, Universal, and won. But like watching it, it's almost like parody level where it's like so on the nose with the Quaint ripoff that it's like, it's almost like SNL or something. It's like, you're not even trying to hide it.
Well, it's just so on the nose with everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you didn't even try, which sort of like Jason said, it's like, why do I like this? Oh, I guess because I really like Jaws, and this is like, Jaws Light or something. It's like an alternate universe Jaws if they recasted it and filmed it in a different country. Yeah.
This would be if I programmed a triple feature of Jaws ripoffs that were the close, because there are tons of movies that were obviously made in the wake of Jaws' success, but this is one of them that's so close, like it just basically copies the script beat for beat to the point where you're surprised it's not Bruno Mattei's name in the director slot. Yeah. It would be this, Killer Crocodile, and The Car.
Well, Ruggero Deodato was supposed to originally helm it, right?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but I don't know why he backed out, but I mean that would be right up his alley too.
Well,
I don't think it would look as good.
He would already have done. Cannibal Holocaust was 80, so it's not like he had to back out to do that. But yeah, I wonder why.
He was probably still lost in the jungle in '81.
Well, actually, he may have been tied up in court.
That's true.
In '81, in all the aftermath of Cannibal Holocaust, so that actually could be why he didn't.
That's very true. Yep.
Man, I would love to have seen that. It's too bad he didn't do a Jaws knockoff movie. That would have been wild.
It is.
Actually, it probably would have had a lot of real shark killing in it. We've got enough of that later on tonight.
Yeah. It is interesting that this is so close to Jaws, but then misses the point entirely of Jaws.
Right.
Well, and thinking of what now, you mentioned when you were given the description, Jason, of all the windsurfing.
Right.
And I would be willing to bet that's because of all the regatta nonsense in Jaws 2.
Oh, yeah, because there's obviously a lot they were ripping off of Jaws 2 in this one, a.k.a. the helicopter scene.
Yeah, right.
It's a movie.
It is. I remember coming across... Fun. I was walking through an antique store in Lincoln, Nebraska several years ago, and one of the vendor booths had a bunch of original theatrical one-sheets, and they had the poster, the American poster for this one with the title Great White on it. And it was only $50. I should have got it. I didn't. I'm still kicking myself for it because on the next trip through that town, because I was driving a lot for work at the time, I was doing a delivery thing. I went back through the next time because I was like, oh God, I wish I would have bought that last time. That was stupid. I should have done it because that poster goes for way more than $50 if you look it up on eBay. I went back, it was gone, and still kicking myself for not picking that up.
All right, so Tad, what trivia do you have for this one?
Well, some of the stuff we've already touched on. Shortly before the film's release, Universal sued the producers, claiming it was plagiarizing Jaws, and the Australian distributors for breach of copyright regarding Peter Benchley's book Jaws. Universal won an injunction, and the film was pulled from theaters. Here's a little more about that.
It wasn't just pulled from theaters. Like, they couldn't even put it out on disc. Like, I think a British company just this year released it on Blu-ray.
Yep.
But up until very recently, it was like no go anywhere.
When the film was acquired in March 1982 by Film Ventures International for the U.S. release under its title Great White, FBI President Edward Montoro put up nearly $4 million in prints and advertising for the film. At the National Association of Theater Owners Convention in Vegas that year, he had brought in lemon sharks that were set up on portable aquariums to promote the film. In addition, he also made special inflatable shark toys with Great White printed on the side, as well as a special pop-up book. At the time of its U.S. release, Great White was FEI's widest national release and took in over $24 million in the first 2 weeks until Universal won their injunction and had it pulled from theaters. So, invested a ton of money into it. Luckily for him, they made enough in those 2 weeks before they pulled it, but then,
I think they made like 18 million, right?
24.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So did well enough. The video was released in Japan as Jaws Returns, a supposed sequel to Jaws. The box art even contains the same font and logo used in all promotional materials as the Steven Spielberg film, and then released in Spain as Jaws 3. And that's what I have for trivia.
Excellent. Okay, Brian, what is our next film?
The next movie is from the great regional Florida drive-in filmmaker William Griffey. It is Mako, the Jaws of Death.
Now, enter an underwater world of terror and suspense as you face the Jaws of Death. Here is the story of a man determined to stop the killing of sharks.
You didn't catch this shark. Sure I did.
Alone, he dares defend man's most dreaded enemy, destroying all who defied his warnings.
Well, they can't go ahead and just kill all the sharks because they don't understand them. Now, can they? Then put a bounty on them.
In a moment of danger, deadly sharks once saved his life. Now he lives and kills as one of them, blood brother in a mysterious shark cult.
You don't have to be afraid of any shark when you're with me.
And now, without further delay, I'm proud to present the Aquamaids Real Live. Hurry!
Here is sheer terror, unforgettable action, captured with some of the most daring underwater photography ever brought to the motion picture screen. Stark, chilling realism that plunges you into a twilight world of thrashing danger. Filmed without the benefit of cages, mechanical sharks, or other protective devices. A unique adventure that thrusts you into the Jaws of Death.
Oh my god, no mechanical sharks were used in the making of this film. That's great.
Nor sharks that were allowed to retain all of their teeth. Anyway, Sonny Stein, a Vietnam veteran, whose life was saved by some sharks allowing him to swim with them to escape the Viet Cong during the war, has now developed a psychic connection with sharks, which he uses to swim with them and sick them on his enemies. Oh boy, I don't know why this movie is called Mako, the Jaws of Death. I think Jaws of Death on its own would have been a fine title because none of the sharks in this movie are Makos. We'll get there in a minute. I forgot to have Jason cue up the Dr. Science bumper, but this is really more of a Willard ripoff than a Jaws ripoff, and that was a theme that William Griffey seemed to really love because he also used it in one of his other more famous movies, Stanley, but with rattlesnakes. And he had been shopping the script around for several years before Jaws came out. But of course, because the subject matter was sharks, as soon as Jaws became the most successful movie in history at the time, it became suddenly very easy for him to find funding for it. So that is how this got made. And you may have noticed one of the shark poachers that he takes out toward the end of the movie is Harold Sakata, who is Oddjob from the James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
So before everyone else gets in, I will jump into the shark thing really quick. While I'm not exactly sure what species were in this movie, they definitely belong to the family referred to as requiem sharks, a group that includes tiger sharks, sandbar sharks, dusky sharks, black and white tip reef sharks, and a number of others, lemon sharks, blue sharks. This group are among the most frequently involved in attacks on humans because they like warm water and they aren't, most of them, super deep sea fish, so they're closer to where people like to swim, hence more human interaction. Some of them, like lemon sharks and blue sharks, have long pointed snouts, while others, like the ones in this movie, have a more blunted snout, and many of them are difficult to tell apart at a glance. Although one of the sharks in this movie has noticeable barbels, which are sensory organs, sort of little dangly things that come off the end of the snout that help them find prey buried in the sand. I would guess there are at least definitely 2, maybe 3 or more different species of sharks in the movie. Again, none of them are Makos. What'd you guys think?
When I started watching this, I don't know what the print looked like that you guys watched.
Oh, absolute garbage. Did you watch it on Hulu?
horrible.
Or Hoopla, I mean?
Yes, I watched on
Yeah.
Hoopla, and it looked like it was shot on someone's home video camera. It had all the lines, and so I didn't do like any reading before I watched any of these. So I thought for sure, like in my brain, I'm watching this. It looks like shit. I'm like, this must be the one that Universal sued, and they got pulled from theaters, and it's been missing, and it's been like, you know what I mean? Like in my brain, I'm
Right.
like putting stuff together, and then I'm like, well, this doesn't really even feel much like a Jaws ripoff because I watched this one first. But I
Well,
was like,
I've
but the look of it itself, but it sort of added to it. You know, it felt like grimy.
Absolutely.
real.
This
Yeah.
type of movie should look crunchy and weird and gross, like they fished the negative for the print out of a truck stop toilet and had it developed with the toilet water. Like, and there could be a couple of reasons for that. One, I'm sure the prints of this film were not taken well care of because they were just cheap drive-in things that I'm sure there were very few prints made and they got beat to shit. Also, they were originally going to shoot this movie with a really nice Aeroflex camera, and it was destroyed in the first week of shooting. Like they dropped it in the water or something, and it was ruined. So they had to finish the movie on a much cheaper, shittier camera. So I'm sure there was a whole confluence of things that caused it to look that bad. Because I don't know if I'm sure Mike has, and Nix probably has too. I don't know if Tad and Jason have seen any other of William Griffith's movies.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even like Sting of Death and Death Curse of Tartu look better than this. But I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
not by
sad.
a lot,
No,
but
yeah.
so-
I've always had a soft spot for this film. It was always playing on Channel 30 on like Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, and I was just like, "Hey, shark movie," and I think some of the underwater shots are really, really well done.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's and the storyline is just so different and weird that it always kind of just hooked me. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
hooked.
it feels like one. It feels like one of those movies that's like it came from another dimension. Like I could totally see catching this one on TV late at night. Like even though there's nothing other than the actual violence against sharks that is particularly gross, it kind of just has that feeling of something you're not supposed to be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
It's that sort of forbidden fruit angle of the exploitation movies.
Well, that's what's
Yeah.
neat about this one. I thought for 76, we probably didn't see a lot of man swimming with shark, you know. So, and we know now that it's not super uncommon, but back then I'm sure that was freaky as hell seeing dudes that close to sharks, no matter how small or weird, not sharks.
Well, especially the scenes of when they're wrestling with them. Like there's some of the attack scenes, like it said in the trailer there, like you can't fake that. There's really a shark fighting this person. Again, they probably yanked all its fucking teeth out first, but
Well, at least it wasn't dead like in APE.
Right. Or, well, I think it was, I can't remember if the one in Tintorera was dead or detoothed, but yeah, same.
I thought there was one shot in here that the skin looked real wrinkled up and dead looking. But it was one of those wrestling scenes that didn't look in super deep water and was really short
Or
and quick.
they may have drugged the shit out of him, too.
Yeah, probably.
But the health of the sharks were not a concern in this film anyway, so.
No.
Well, they got high. It was okay for them. But, you know, our lead character got to have a romantic relationship with a mermaid. So, we got that going on.
I mean, some of those scenes, it kind of felt like he may have had a romantic relationship with a couple of those sharks, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Which,
That's
too bad
definitely the
Ben's not
impression
here.
you get, yes.
which, if you know what shark skin is like at a microscopic level, is a whole nother level of horror.
It seems like you've thought about this before, Brian.
No comment.
He's got some shark skin condoms.
Brian has a mail order shark. By the way.
Toothed for her pleasure.
Oh, God. Yeah, I like William Greffy, and I've always been meaning to dig deeper into his filmography. I think I've only ever seen Death Curse and Sting of Death, which Sting of Death is probably my favorite because it's just so ridiculous.
Oh, that movie is absolutely insane.
Yes.
We gotta figure out how to get that on the show one of these days.
I know. One of the coolest monster suits of all time. But anyway.
And a great theme song.
Yeah, by Neil
Sedaka.
Sedaka of all people. Like, how? How did he nail that?
Before he was a star, that's how.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Better than the green slime?
Absolutely not. No,
No.
the Green Slime is one
Okay,
of the best
great.
theme songs ever.
The episode
Which
theme
our
can
lead
just
was
be,
in.
we got to get this on the show. Like, all three movies are just movies that you keep saying, we got to get this on the show somehow.
That would be a cool title for the episode.
Don't tempt
too, yeah.
me.
But I had not seen this one, so when I was researching Jaws ripoffs and it popped up and I had kind of forgotten about it, I'm like, oh, I gotta finally see this. So excited that I got to watch it and really enjoyed it, but at the same time I'm thinking, oh, did I make a mistake? Is everyone else gonna dig it? I mean, I know Brian was in. But
Yeah, I was excited because I hadn't seen this one either. I've seen obviously Death Curse and Sting of Death, and I've seen Stanley, but I hadn't seen this one.
Oh,
I need
yeah,
to get
Stanley,
that. I
yeah.
need to get that He Came from the Swamp Arrow box set that's got a bunch of his flicks in it. But
Yeah, I've eyeballed that a time or two as well. So, but yeah, and then also another different take on the animal attack genre at that time. Even though, like you said, you got Willard and you got Stanley, but just the fact that this guy has got, sharks under his command, it's pretty cool. I dig it.
Yeah,
Well,
sort of made
I mean,
me think of... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, man. I was just thinking, it's so fucking weird. He spends the whole movie protecting sharks. Like, that's his whole deal. He doesn't want people killing sharks and hunting sharks and all that. And he's got this magic amulet that lets him control the sharks so that they can kill the bad people. But then when he loses the amulet, the sharks are just like, hey, fuck you, you're food. And he dies by shark.
well, yeah, and that aspect of the story is really cool because that opening where he's in Nam and you see like he's trying to escape the Viet Cong and he's cornered, like his options are basically be machine gunned or jump in the water where he can see the sharks, and he dives in and there's almost like this understanding between them where the sharks are like, look, man, we'll leave you alone, you leave us alone. Like, you need to be in here to be safe, it's cool. And then he meets that shaman who gives him that tooth amulet that protects him, keeps them from attacking him, so he can sort of build up that relationship. And so he spent all these years communicating with sharks, swimming with them, protecting them, helping them. And then he's misguided by this sleazy nightclub guy who convinces him to sell him that one shark for the mermaid show. But she's pregnant, and they wind up cutting her up and pulling the babies out of her, and they all die too. And like, that's the turning point where the sharks are like, you know, we were on your side, you were on our side, but you fucked us, and, you know, the deal's off. You're food now too.
It has kind of like...
He was led astray by his dick because the mermaid swinger chick was, you know...
It kind of calls me back to, like, Orca, like, with, you know, the opening scene of that.
Yeah, got the revenge angle, for sure.
Yeah.
When I started it, I got really excited because Richard Jekyll's in it, and anything that ties back to Grizzly, I love that. So I was happy to see him in the movie in the lead, and I love the Willard angle a lot. That's really cool.
But...
Well, I mean, like, if you're going to protect sharks, why are you getting rid of sharks? But no, this movie sucked because it was all... I hated seeing all the dead stuff. And
yeah, especially the one that gets bang sticked in the head.
Yeah, there's just too much of that, and it's not comfortable watching anyway. So
filmed in Florida, where life is cheap.
Yeah. Definitely feels like a Florida Man movie.
Florida Man. All right, get Rob Zombie in here. He'll do a cover.
Okay, do you have any trivia for this one, Dad?
Oh, I do. William Greffey? Greffey? How do you say that, Brian?
Greffey.
Greffey wrote the story for this film prior to Jaws, but could not get anyone to finance it until after Jaws was a huge hit at the box office. Henry Silva was originally approached to play the lead role, but had to turn down the offer because he did not know how to swim.
That's a bummer. I mean, Richard Jekyll's pretty good in this, honestly. But
yeah, it would be interesting.
Henry Silva's fucking awesome. This would have been better with Henry Silva.
And then Brian mentioned this briefly, but there's more to the story. So the Airflex camera that was going to be used on the first day of shooting was accidentally destroyed. So director William Greffey had to make do with another camera of lesser quality. A boat that was also needed to use on the first day of shooting got stuck on a sandbar at low tide for about 4 hours. In addition, as if to add insult to injury, star Richard Jekyll cut the back of his head and had to be sent to the hospital to get his head wound stitched up on the exact same day. Fortunately, he insisted on still working despite requiring stitches for the gash on his head. So, rough first day. And that's what I have for trivia.
Some red flags there, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they still made this great piece of artwork.
There were some amazing underwater shots in here. I gotta give them props for that. Silly story, but I really like what they did.
Yeah, they were impressive considering how everything else looked. Yeah. Tad, what's our next film?
Our third and final film is The Meg.
What's that?
There's a monster outside.
What you people discovered is bigger than we ever thought possible.
How big is that thing?
It was the largest shark that ever existed.
A living fossil.
Thought to have been extinct for over 2 million years. Wrong.
My God. It's a megalodon. He's kidding, right?
That thing's out there. We need to find it and kill it.
Why don't you just put a tracker on it? Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
He looks heroic, but he's kind of got a negative attitude.
Chew on this, you ugly.
All right. Jason Statham punches a dinosaur shark so huge it makes Bruce look like a minnow. Scientists awaken it. Chaos ensues, and the movie proves once and for all that mankind's greatest weapon is a bald guy with a grudge. I love this stupid movie. It's dumb as shit. I know it's based on a novel. I haven't read it, but it's so much fun. I mean, the idea of a Meg is so cool. The bottom of the ocean freaks me out more than outer space. And we know that shit's down there. We don't know what shit's down there. And I'm okay with it. We have Rainn Wilson as sort of a water version of Elon Musk instead of the space version. We have a very attractive cast out there, all trying to. We have the Jaws freak. We have the Jaws fake out where we think that they've caught the shark, and then the shark eats the shark. So cool. I think this movie is a blast. It's so much fun.
Would a water version of Elon Musk be Elon Musky?
Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Have any of you guys read the book?
Yes, in fact, I have the first printing hardcover.
I'm guessing Jason hasn't.
No, that's the thing with the words in it, right?
I have actually read all of the books multiple times, and I really hope that at some point they get around to making a third movie and they skip over a couple books and go right to Hell's Aquarium, because oh my god, I want to see Meg versus Leopleurodon so bad.
Man, I was so excited for this movie. It took years for them to get it even produced.
Oh god, it was in development for ages, probably shit. 15 years.
Yes. And it finally came out, and I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of boring. And then they put the trailer out for part 2, and I'm like, okay, now that looks crazy like it's supposed to be. And it wasn't either. I mean, they're just boring to me. Sorry.
Oh, that makes me... I mean, I agree to a point. Okay, so they both know exactly what they are. Like the original ending, like the first movie when it ends, it says Finn, ha ha ha, badumch, and the cute puppy and Jason, but yeah, it strays quite a bit from the book. And the biggest disappointment for me for the first movie, I love the movie up until the end, and I think they kind of chicken out, because the end of the original novel is fucking insane. So instead of just cutting the shark's stomach and then a bunch of regular sharks eat the Meg, the first novel ends with Jonah kamikazeing his little submarine thing down the Meg's throat. And throughout the whole book, he has worn a Meg tooth around his neck on a necklace. That wasn't fossilized. It was the one that he met in the beginning, just like in the beginning of the movie, where he loses some people on a submarine. So he pulls that tooth off his necklace.
Which doesn't make any sense, by the way.
He's rammed his submarine down the shark's throat, climbs out of the submarine, pulls the tooth off his necklace, and uses it to cut his way through the shark's innards, following the sound of its heartbeat until he slices through the muscle wall of its abdomen into its heart and strangles its heart to death with his bare hands.
I want to see that.
Right? Why didn't they do that in the movie? But otherwise, it's a blast. Like, and the second one's even crazier. But yeah, like, I don't know, the little tiny puppy, the Yorkie, that like the Chinese girl
Pippin?
drops off the boat into the water. Yeah, well, right, it's named from the dog from Jaws.
Right.
That's probably my favorite character in the movie. But
Yeah.
It never got to that level that the books were. It's just like they played it too safe. I don't know. I like seeing a giant shark and not being what do you call those people that make all the ripoffs?
Asylum?
Not being an asylum film. I like seeing a giant mag. I just wish they would have gone as crazy as the books did.
Agreed. Because, yeah, again, the books just are absolutely fucking insane.
Well, I too love this movie. I thought it was great. My favorite of the night, obviously. Super fun. Loved it when it came out. The cast is great. My only beefs are and it's probably with all shark movies, is the ever changing scale. I wish I
don't think they biffed the scale too much in this one, because the big reveal is, of course, there are two sharks, and the one they thought they were fighting the whole time was the smaller of the two.
I don't know, but I just, even during this, I find myself going, I thought it'd be bigger. I don't know. And it's
that Jason's used to hearing that.
I know. I am. And then just the constant
Holy fuck.
in this one, the predicaments that they find themselves in. I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you go over there? Does every boat not have a back end on it so that everybody in all these movies falls out of? For fuck's sake, can anyone hang on while they're on a boat?
No, because we want to watch them all in danger.
Jesus
If
Christ,
everybody,
by the end of this movie, I was just like, oh, he fell in. Wow. Okay, everybody just falls in. Nobody. Jesus Christ.
Did you watch this one last?
I did. And it happens 47 times in this. I count.
Throughout all these movies.
Yeah.
It's like
nobody can stay on a damn boat.
It's like the last shark, the guy on the helicopter falls off that freaking helicopter 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And it still gets eaten.
But it's fun. I do not think I've seen part 2, so should I watch it?
Oh, really? Oh, dude, you need to see the second one.
Okay.
If you had a good time with this one, you're going to love the second one. And it was directed by Ben Wheatley.
Okay.
Who have you seen A Field in England?
Nope.
Have you seen Kill List?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to keep saying no whether I've
That's
seen
an interesting choice.
Yeah, he was an odd choice for that, because he makes the stuff he makes is weird, and it's got, some of them have a lot of action in it, but they tend to be a little more artsy, I guess.
Serious.
So
yeah.
getting him to do gonzo sharksploitation kaiju movie was a weird choice, but he clearly understood the assignment.
Does any of the cast come back?
Statham.
Just Statham.
That's all I need.
I got it. Well, that
Well,
too.
no, and oh god, I can't think of his name now.
Cliff Curtis, the guy whose place it was. I mean, Mac or whatever.
The
Not
Rainn
Rainn Wilson.
guy? No.
Yeah, no,
he's dead.
in pieces.
Well, Statham's daughter comes back.
Cool.
The actor's not dead. Come on.
Statham,
his career is, but
action movies in general, I could give two shits about. I don't prefer them or like them. And all what was the movies recently where they put all of them in one movie? That's Tad's
The
favorite
Expendables.
movies. Yep, those. And I don't know. I didn't think that I gave two shits about Statham because I didn't. But then watching it again, I'm like, they give him some time. We get scenes where he's just being fucking chill and smiles at the camera, and
yeah, Jason Statham's awesome.
He's great
at the action stuff, but he can also handle acting.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a bummer.
It's probably
that
the first time I saw that, so I was pleasantly surprised.
it's kind of a bummer he's been pigeonholed into being an action star, because he does have some really good acting chops, and I think he's got a real knack for comedy too.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that comes like much like how like John Cena, for example, but like pro wrestlers who pivot into movies obviously are pegged as action guys because they're big and muscular dudes, but also because the timing of wrestling is kind of similar to comic timing on a technical level. It's the same thing. Like, being able to be a really good action star, you have to have a good sense of timing or somebody's going to get hurt. So it's a fairly natural pivot into comedy. And yeah, Jason Statham is very funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really enjoy this movie too. This wasn't a first time watch. I've watched it a few times. It's definitely a good turn your brain off and just enjoy the ride. I'm torn on when it comes to movies like this. Do I want the creatures bigger or do I like the smaller scale? Because the kills in this are just, they're not really anything. Like when we get to best kills, you can't put this movie really on the list because you're not really you can't get any like good gore or weird chomp, because these are like,
because they can swallow you whole.
Yeah, humans are plankton to this guy, so you're not really getting anything like that. But it's still got a lot of really cool, fun action. The cast is great. Rainn Wilson, ever since he played Dr. Demento in Weird the Al Yankovic Story, he can do no wrong, and I will watch him in everything. So, yeah, it's the thumbs up for me as well.
Yeah, I think I saw it. I definitely saw it twice. I can't remember if I saw it 3 times in the theater or not, but I mean, I've watched it God knows how many times since it came out on video. But thinking of the shark's size, there's some interesting developments in paleontological circles. The megalodons have always been thought of as just scaled up great whites, like a 60-foot long great white. And of course, great whites are what everyone thinks of when they think of scary sharks, because of Jaws and because they're the biggest predatory or dangerous to human shark currently living. But and because sharks are mostly made of cartilage, there aren't a lot of fossils, just teeth and jaws typically. So there's been some thought recently that megalodons may not have been a scaled up great white, as 60-foot long but very thick and barrel shaped and muscular, but more like a lemon shark. It has to, I forget exactly what it is, but something to do with the structure of the jaws and the way their teeth are set up, that they may have been, if they were more like a lemon shark, they would have been more torpedo shaped and a little more slender, but closer to like 80 feet long. So which do you think is scarier, a big barrel-shaped fucker that's 60 feet or a more torpedo-shaped 80 feet coming up at you out of the black depths of the Mariana Trench?
It's all scary.
Tad said.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tad said earlier, ocean is fucking terrifying.
Yes.
Especially deep ocean. Like, deep-sea critters, forget it. That's why, and we don't get a lot of deep sea horror movies because you got your Leviathan, your Deep Star 6, your Meg, the Rift. That's a good one too. But yeah, there aren't that many of them, probably because it's kind of expensive and hard to pull off. But there should be more of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
agreed. Any trivia on this one, Tad?
There is so much on this one. In real life, Jason Statham is extremely comfortable in the water. He was actually a competitive diver competing in Olympic trials in 1985 and representing England in the 1990 Commonwealth Games.
Damn.
This will really make Brian happy. This movie could have been much better because Eli Roth was attached as director before being replaced by John Turteltaub. Roth left due to creative differences with the studio, namely that he wanted the film to maintain both its R rating and a $150 million budget. It's also rumored that Eli, on top of writing and directing, also wanted to play the lead role of Jonas, but the studio believed he did not have the star power, and they were right. Can you imagine like the dialogue in the Meg with Eli Roth, like his Boston douchebag idiot people. What the fuck is shark? You shark? It suck. This surpassed Jaws as the highest grossing shark movie worldwide, though Jaws remains the highest grossing domestically. This one's just sort of fun. For the giant squid sounds, the sound editors parked a car in a quiet location at Warner Brothers Studios and put microphones inside the car. Then went outside the car with 2 or 3 different types of plungers and started plunging the windshield. Sometimes they used a dry plunger, sometimes a wet plunger with dish soap to make it slippery and slurpy. The sound effects editors even came up with some really cool material for the cups of the giant squid, so they would do a hard plunge onto the glass and then pull it off. And then the last thing is when Disney Hollywood Pictures first bought the rights to the novel in 1996, they hired television writer and producer Tom Wheeler to write a screenplay for the movie. His script wasn't considered to be very good, so Disney hired another screenwriter, Jeffrey Boehm, who was most well known for writing scripts for films like Inner Space, The Lost Boys, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3, but his screenplay was also rejected for the same reason as Wheeler's. When New Line Cinema took over the project in 2005, another script was written by Shane Salerno, writer of both Alien vs. Predator films, throwback, with Jan de Bont involved as director and Guillermo del Toro as producer, but ultimately it was canceled once again. So this has been through development hell.
All right. Thank you very much, Tad. So, now it is time to rank the films from your favorite to least favorite. Where should we start? Jason, why don't you rank them first?
It's easily The Meg, The Last Shark, and then Mako.
Excellent. Tad.
I have the same exact order.
Okay.
I agree.
Brian. Oh, Brian.
My first is also Meg, but flip the last two. Mako is my second favorite, and then The Last Shark.
Oh, interesting. And Nix.
I give The Last Shark number 1 spot, and Mako the number 2. I mean, it's got my childhood memories of watching it on television during the afternoons, and the Meg is the last because it didn't live up to the books. There we go.
Okay, so, well, yeah, that's interesting. I thought I was going to be the only one there for a minute, but my number 1 is also The Last Shark, and I think probably more than anything else, it has to do with nostalgia. I've seen it several times. It's my favorite rip-off movie of that era. And then number 2 is Meg, because it's just dumb fun, and I've seen it multiple times now too. And then, unfortunately, Mako is third. I still enjoyed it, definitely more than Jason, but yeah, it's definitely not as strong as the other two. Best kill. How about the best kill of these movies? Tad, why don't you start us this time?
I'm going to say the big Meg eating the smaller Meg.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
I mean, technically it was already dead, so I don't know if that's a kill, but I just think that's such a cool, you think you got the shark, we got a shark that's going to eat the shark.
Yeah. Brian?
It's a tie for me. It's either the poacher getting bang sticked in the head in Mako because he did it to another shark and, he deserved it. Also, it's only the second, well, actually, this would have been the first. There are only 2 times I can think of where someone gets killed with a bang stick in a movie. Mako being one, and Deep Star 6 being the other one, when Miguel Ferrer jabs the guy and his chest explodes. So it's either the poacher getting bang sticked in Mako or Rainn Wilson getting chomped in Meg. Because I love that bit where he thinks he's safe and he climbs up onto the whale carcass and he's like, guys, come back, I'm still here. And just gets nailed.
Not for long. Yeah. Jason?
Mine's going to be the guy he's totally safe and he's climbing out of the water. He's got the white shirt on. He's on the deck there. But, oh, wait, he's missing his bottom half.
Oh, and Last Shark?
Last Shark.
Yeah, awesome. Nix?
I got the same one. The guy missing the last half of his body in Last Shark. That was.
Cool. Okay, well, mine is also from The Last Shark, but I'm going with the mayor getting his legs chomped off hanging from the helicopter.
Oh boy, that miniature
Yes,
work. That
that's
miniature
awesome.
work was just amazing.
Hell yeah. Okay, so there is the film discussions there, everybody. However, there's still more Attack of the Killer podcast to come. When we come back, we're going to finish off the show with our final 2 segments. But first, you're going to hear a promo for our podcast network, the PFPN. The PFPN is home to so many great shows, such as the Cinnamon Movie Podcast. The Cinema Movie Podcast is the podcast of all podcasts. They break down all kinds of films, discuss entertainment news. They have their very own top 5 segment every week, and so much more. So check them out and all the other shows at thepfpn.com. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the show. Now it's time to hear from you guys, the listeners. Here's Jason with shout-outs.
It's time for shout-outs! 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 Shout-outs!
All right, we asked, what are your favorite Jaws ripoffs? And these are your shout-outs. Up first, we got attacker Scott Reebsman. Says Blades and Grizzly.
Blades.
Yeah. Is that the ice skating one? I'm just kidding.
No, that's the golf course lawnmower one.
Yeah. Up next, we got attacker Tim Linnerer. Says a bunch of stuff. I was just catching my breath. Gold medal goes to Alligator. It's got a John Sayles screenplay, so it's witty and well constructed. Plus, we're introduced to the cop on the edge, trademark, when he's buying a puppy, and it's got the stones to kill a child on camera, which is part of the original's plot as well. Silver medal goes to Piranha, which also has a John Sayles screenplay, plus multiple instances where characters start out as a jerk and winds up risking their lives when things get homicidally serious in order to protect someone else. Bonus points for Dick Miller as the aquatic resort owner, and that weird little Neopet creature in the lab in the first act.
Yeah.
The bronze goes to The Car, which figures out how to do a Jaws ripoff in a sleepy little desert town. No chance for sharks to show up, but how about a devil car? Everyone involved turns in a performance that refuses to wink at the audience or point out how ridiculous a devil car would be.
And that George Barris car is so fucking cool. Like, honestly, that is my dream car to just have as a daily driver.
Heck yeah.
It's so wonderful. It's just the way that they deal with the whole thing. They never really answer all the questions.
Over in our Facebook group, the group edition, we got the Reebster. Reebster. Says, while Grizzly, Alligator, and Piranha are the top 3, only The Last Shark was sued by Universal for this.
They wanted to sue over Piranha, but Steven Spielberg wouldn't let them.
Yeah, because he liked the movie too much.
Yeah.
And all this talk about Grizzly, have you guys seen Claws? The other Bear Jaws ripoff movie?
Yeah, I haven't seen Claws.
So fucking... There's a scene where the bear tackles a guy, and it's just a dude in a bear suit. And it's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in a movie.
Sold.
Man, I have not seen that. I need to, but it reminded me of Prophecy. Not
that movie.
Christopher
One of my
Walken, the one
favorite
with the man
monster
bear
movies
pig.
ever. Yeah.
Where he attacks the kid hopping in the sleeping bag and his feathers
Backhands him into a
fly
rock and the
everywhere.
sleeping bag explodes. Yeah.
Up next, we got attacker Abe Kirshner says, depends how loose you're willing to get with your definition. Well, these guys love getting loose.
Yeah, we like it loose.
But my answer will still be Attack of the Meth Gator.
Oh, Abe.
And then lastly, we got Josh Ramos says, been a while since I've seen it, but I remember Blades being pretty enjoyable. Granted, it's more of a parody than a ripoff.
2 votes for Blades. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Who saw that coming? We have
Wait, now you guys are reminding me of like what's that movie? Blood Hook,
Yeah,
written
Blood
by
Hook,
one of the guys from Mystery
Jim
Science
Mallon
Theater.
from Mystery Science Theater. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also a great movie.
And we also got a couple voicemails. We got this first one's pretty exciting. It's a new caller.
Hey gang, this is Greg from Kansas City, long-time listener, first-time voicemailer. I will say, love the Jaws ripoff genre, just that world in general. And technically over on Nightmare Junkhead, we've been doing this thing called Sharktember now for 5 years, where we wade into some wonderfully wild and weird water. And I'll say, first off, I'll list 3 here. From 1977, Orca. Incredible score by Ennio Morricone. It is basically a revenge film told from the orca's point of view in many ways, so his genius likes to call it Deathfish. Bo Derek goes from a 10 to a 7.5 in one bite, and it features a scene forever seared into my brain as I watched this way too young, and I can neither unsee or unhear this particular scene. And if you know the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Another weird one that is a recent, kind of came onto the radar is Mako, Jaws of Death. Best described as either pseudo Shining with sharks or Maniac, but instead of mannequins, we have man-eaters. And then lastly, wading into the weirder waters, give a lot of love to Ghost Shark. I went in with some baggage thinking it was one film, and it definitely is that movie, but it is creative, it is Stephen King approved, it is definitely a fun little, bit of weird waters to wade in. So, love all you guys, keep doing what you're doing, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Awesome to hear from you.
Yep. And then lastly, we got one more. Bill.
Hey everybody, Attacker Bill Fisher here. I guess today we're talking about rip-off movies to what, in my opinion, is probably the greatest film ever made, and that would be Jaws. Because I can't, off the top of my head, come up with any of them, I decided to Google Jaws rip-offs, and because I haven't seen any of these movies, really based on the titles alone, I'm going to tell you what they're about. First one, Cruel Jaws. I guess it's a 1995 movie where this shark only tips 5% and doesn't return his shopping cart. Let's see, there's Orca. I guess Willie had a really asshole uncle that raised a lot of hell back in the 70s. Let's see, 1980, the movie Alligator. It's about a herpetologist in a New York sewer, and I guess, to be honest, Mike, that's not exactly what you think it is, and hope all that clears up. And then there's Blood Beach, I guess, where Nancy's dad from Nightmare on Elm Street fights the feeling of sand in his butt crack. And then there's one last movie. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about this one. I have seen. It's called Not Within 1,000 Feet. It's about a creature showing up on the beach and all these parents grabbing their children and running in fear. And but no, it's not a 20-foot great white. It's a 4-foot rod. That's a Bubble Boys joke. I may have to stop at this point. I'm just poking a dead body with a stick. Anyway, that's it, man. Thank you guys for covering this. I'm excited about this episode, and yeah, bye.
Blood Beach, that's a fun one. And produced by one of the Shaw brothers.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
I can't remember if it's Run or Run Me. Same one who produced Inseminoid.
Okay. Sweet.
Well, you too can leave a message, get played on the show. You can just give us a call at 415-956-857. That's 415-958-AOTKP. Give us a call, leave a voicemail. And that is shout-outs.
And unfortunately, there's no Insane's Picks for this week, so get to spare you of that. So I guess that's it. We're going to just wrap up the show now, but a very special thanks to our very special guest, Nix Eclipse. Thanks for being here, buddy.
All right. Hey, guys. I'm Nix. I am the host of Cinema Shitshow, along with my trusty sidekick, Obi Ben Shinobi. Hey, the movies aren't really the shit show. It's your host. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to start, end, or produce a podcast, but we're doing it anyway. We cover a lot of things that you may not have heard of. You may have. We hope that you might learn something interesting, but if not, we hope that you just have some laughs, because we do not take ourselves seriously, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that this group invited me to be part of the family. Hopefully I don't let them down. All right. Did that work? Was that good?
It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on, man.
Yep, thanks again for being on the show. Okay, so, and if you want more Attack of the Killer podcast, you can find us on X, TikTok, Threads. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Discord. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Be sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcast. And we will talk to you all next week on Attack of the Killer podcast.
Oh no, could this be the end of? Wow.